It took me a lot to be this calm. It wasn't a sudden transformation, but rather a slow and painful evolution. A journey marked by moments of quiet struggle and unseen battles. The calm you see now was forged in the fires of experiences that pushed me to the brink, but which also molded me into someone who could face the storms of life with a steady hand. It wasn't an easy path, and there were times when I doubted whether I would ever find peace. But here I am, standing on the other side of that tumultuous journey, not unscathed, but certainly more resilient, more at peace with myself and the world around me. When I reflect on what it took to reach this state of calm, I can't help but think of all the pain that has shaped me. Pain is an inevitable part of life, but it's something we often try to avoid, to escape from. However, in my case, it was unavoidable. It was the kind of pain that doesn't just hurt in the moment, but lingers, embedding itself in your soul, altering the way you see the world and yourself. I didn't deserve the hurt that came my way, but I had to endure it, not because I had a choice, but because it was the only way to survive. There were days when the weight of it all felt unbearable, when I wanted to give up, to let the waves of despair wash over me and take me under. But something inside me wouldn't let that happen. Call it strength, call it stubbornness, but there was a voice deep within that urged me to keep going, to keep fighting, even when the odds seemed insurmountable. This struggle is perhaps why I have become so fiercely independent. Independence wasn't something I chose willingly. It was something I was forced into. When you've been hurt deeply, trust becomes a fragile thing, something you handle with extreme caution. I learned early on that relying on others too much could lead to disappointment, to betrayal. And so I built walls around myself. These walls were not meant to keep people out entirely, but rather to protect the vulnerable parts of me, the parts that had been bruised and battered by life's harsh realities. I did everything on my own because I didn't want to risk the pain of being let down again. I didn't want to give anyone the power to hurt me, to expose the raw wounds that still hadn't fully healed. And so, I cultivated this calmness, not as a facade, but as a necessary survival mechanism. In a world that seemed intent on throwing challenges my way, I needed to be calm, to not let the turmoil outside disrupt the fragile peace I was trying to nurture within. Calmness became my shield, my way of saying, I won't let this break me. But this calmness wasn't easy to come by. It took years of learning, of unlearning, of letting go of the things I couldn't control. I had to accept that I couldn't change the past, that I couldn't make people apologize or make things right. I had to stop blaming myself for the actions of others, for the things that were done to me that I had no power over. This was perhaps the hardest lesson to learn, but once I did, I found a sense of peace that I had never known before. People often wonder how I managed to stay so calm in situations where others might crumble. They see the exterior, the composed, unflappable demeanor, but they don't see the inner workings, the countless hours spent wrestling with my thoughts, trying to make sense of the pain, the disappointment, the hurt. They don't see the moments of doubt, the tears shed in silence, the sleepless nights spent overthinking, replaying scenarios in my head, trying to figure out where it all went wrong. But I don't let anyone see this side of me because I know how important it is to project strength, not just for others, but for myself. In a world where vulnerability can be exploited, where showing your true feelings can sometimes lead to more hurt, I have learned to keep my emotions in check, to present a calm exterior even when I'm feeling anything but calm inside. But this calmness, this ability to stay composed, isn't just about self-preservation. It's also about understanding. Over the years, I've come to realize that the people who hurt me, who let me down, who betrayed my trust, were dealing with their own battles, their own struggles. This doesn't excuse their behavior, but it helps me to see things from a different perspective. It helps me to forgive, not just them, but also myself. I forgive myself for the times I was too trusting, for the times I ignored the red flags, for the times I allowed myself to be hurt. I forgive myself because I know now that I was doing the best I could with the knowledge and experience I had at the time. And in forgiving myself, I find peace. The calmness I've cultivated is also a reflection of my deep desire to be loved, understood, and seen. Beneath the surface, beneath the calm exterior, is someone who craves connection, who wants to be valued for who they are, not just for what they can do or how they present themselves to the world. I've spent so much time trying to be strong, trying to be independent, that I've often neglected this softer side of myself. But it's still there, waiting, hoping that someday someone will see it and love it for what it is. Until that day comes, I continue to nurture this calmness, to protect the vulnerable parts of myself, knowing that I am enough, just as I am. Looking back, I realize that I haven't received the apologies I deserve, and I probably never will. But that's okay. I've come to terms with the fact that I can't control how others behave, that I can't force them to make amends or to see the error of their ways. What I can control is how I respond, how I let go of the hurt, how I choose to move forward. And in choosing calmness, in choosing peace, I found a strength that is far more powerful than any apology could ever be. In the end, I've learned that not all battles are worth fighting. There comes a point where you have to decide what's more important: holding on to your anger, your hurt, your desire for justice, or letting go and finding peace. For me, the choice was clear. I chose peace. I chose to move on, to accept that some things are beyond my control, and that's okay. Life isn't always fair, but that doesn't mean I have to carry the weight of that unfairness with me. I can choose to let it go, to release the burden, and in doing so, I find a calmness that is truly liberating. This calmness, this peace, didn't come easily. It took years of struggle, of pain, of heartbreak. It took countless moments of self-reflection, of questioning, of doubt. But it was all worth it because it brought me to where I am today, a place where I can look back on my experiences, not with bitterness or regret, but with a sense of gratitude. Gratitude for the lessons learned, for the strength gained, for the calmness that now defines me. It took me a lot to be this calm, but I wouldn't trade it for anything. This calmness is my strength, my shield, my peace. It's what allows me to face each day with a sense of purpose, to go through life's challenges with grace, to hold on to hope even when the world feels heavy. It's what keeps me grounded, what keeps me moving forward, what keeps me believing that no matter what happens, I will be okay. And that, more than anything, is what makes this journey, with all its pain and all its struggles, worth it. I hope you enjoyed watching my video. If you're still with me, Please leave a comment on what you learned or what you would like to add. I would appreciate it. As always, wishing you a beautiful day.